Hey everybody, it's Feorie Frimon coming to you live from the Guild, Studio 3 actually. And I wanted to talk to you guys about set building. I just recently did a panel for Bay City Studios at the SL Video Creators Display over at the SL Endowment for the Arts Regions. They have a really cool machinima display that'll be up there with ever evolving stuff happening until July 1st. You should definitely go over there, check out the details if you want to know. But in the panel, there were lots of questions about how to get started and all kinds of different things. And so I just wanted to show you guys this set that we built for one of the parts of Namara that we did where Rami finds out her magic. And in this part of Namara, you get to finally see where the Green Knights for Duke Jean-Philippe live. And this was built at Studio 3 at a recent development that Bay City Studios is working on. It's kind of like a weird residential community with lots of prim and studio space for like machinima makers like myself. I wanted to talk to you guys here about a couple of things that I use when I build sets. So the first thing is I want to talk about sight lines. You'll notice that as I cam around from most of the places, let's make a quick fire here. I don't think I'm close enough. Hold on, we'll illuminate some stuff here so you can see this set better. Okay. All right. So for the most part, when you're filming, you're going to be down, in a perspective probably like this. You'll be maybe down here, not down there. Maybe you'll be here, something like that, or maybe like an over the shoulder shot or whatever. And so it's important to bring that up because as far as sight lines go, you don't have to have 4 regions worth of trees to create an attractive sight line for any shot that you do. I've got some pretty fast moving clouds here. It's a pretty windy night in this Green Knight camp, but these are my sight lines. And this space in itself is actually probably not that big. So when I cam back and I change my environment settings to midday, you can really see that this camp, this is a 60 by 60 prim here. This one, it's locked. That's why it's not letting you see anything, but it's a 64 by 64 size prim. So this camp here is probably around maybe like 70 meters-ish total, 70 if I move this and like perfectly aligned it. So it's important. You can build a pretty, oh, I guess it does go out farther. So maybe 60, maybe two 64 sized prims. And so I have a lot of prims or land impact jammed in here to make it look that way for my sight lines. But even at midday, my sight line is not terrible. You still definitely get the idea of maybe like a coastal area. We've got some opening here, but I think that's important when you talk about building sets is sight lines. The other thing that I want to talk about is post balls. And so we will make these. I've got post balls here set, and you'll notice you can click them for me to make them invisible or not. And I wanted to show you guys these because I have a set of pose balls for 2 avatars that I call the mega pose ball. And I'm kind of like constantly updating it. It's like, and think of it like a huge piece of furniture, and in it has every animation that I ever need ever. And I dump them in here, even if they are no transfer. I dump them all in here. So, well, maybe not the no copy ones, but definitely the no transfer ones, because I can res them and have all of my actors use these pose balls if I want them to use them later. So, I can like res this So I can res this over here, and so I have lots of different pose balls, and I kinda have some menus set up on them, so if I sit here, here's my menu, and we can make it invisible while I stand on it, and so I've kinda got some stuff here where I can, do different things based on the animations that I have in here. So this is just using the Sitter system. If you don't have it, honestly, as a machinima maker, I would suggest getting it, because it teaches you a little bit about basic menu making for furniture, and you can pretty much at that point use any animation you want to create a pose ball, um, and, make it to where you can sit on anything. So that would be useful for most machinima makers. There's other ways probably to do it, but I really like the Sitter system, so that's what I use. And you can see I have neat little menus that kind of like explain what it is that I, have here. Like I have a lot of O and Y animations, and so I can do different things like, let's see, these are different sits, and I even put sits in there for sure because I can res that pose ball again, right? And then I could like say, put it over here on this barrel to make it look like Fiore is sitting on the barrel, so that's pretty useful having all of your animations in one place. And if they're copyable, then you can have lots of them. And then so you can do lots of different things with your animations. You don't always have to use a post ball, but I like to use them for large sets, especially when I have like lots of logged in avatars, just because I can do exactly what I just did now and adjust the person to put them right where I need them to get the shot that I want. So that's that. The other thing I would talk about as far as building sets is your environment settings. So if you don't know how to do environment settings, I put a link to kind of how they work, um, and the details below. But or you can just buy them. You can buy them too. And I think environment settings really help with things like skyline, so you can make a forest feel more dense than it actually is simply by just, like, kind of, like, darkening things and adding more fog and stuff like that. And when you have, uh, in this scenario, since I don't really need to see things that are, 512 meters away, I just brought my draw distance all the way down to 96. So I'm not even trying to res stuff that's like not even within my view. And that's really good for me because that helps gets my FPS up, and that helps keep lag down. So all of those things are real important when building sets. So if you what's really good for you guys when you build sets like that for machinima? What are some other tools that you would give new residents about how they would build theirs? Let me know.